All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? Happy Tuesday to you. It is Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. This morning, we're going to talk about relationship capital. What do I mean when I say relationship capital? I mean, how do you build relationships? What is the capital? What is the value that you gain through building proper relationships by investing in those relationships, by making the very best of every relationship in your life? How do you do it? What does it look like? There is a tactical approach to relationships, how they're supposed to work, how you make every relationship a two-way street, whether it's business or personal or your marriage or your children. All of those are extremely important in the realm of making sure that you're happy and making sure that you're fulfilled. That's what we're going to talk about this morning. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
Man, I'm loving it, dude. I'm seeing messages. I'm seeing comments coming in. First thing over on YouTube and LinkedIn, which is awesome. Generally speaking, we have a lot of viewers over on Facebook that are live, but trying to build out, those two platforms. And it looks like we're starting to catch some momentum there. So thank you to Curtis, Marvin, and Daniel who commented immediately as soon as the show started over on YouTube and LinkedIn. This is awesome, man. So appreciate you guys being here with me this morning. Happy Tuesday to you. We're going to talk a little bit about relationship capital. And when we look at, relationships in general, relationships, in my opinion, in every aspect of your life really are the vehicle that allow your life to grow to levels that otherwise you wouldn't have the possibility of growing to. And so for me, it's a very passionate topic because of, how much I've invested into relationships from a personal standpoint, just a personal investment, taking the time to build these relationships. Many of you guys that are on this stream are involved in that, right? We have a personal relationship and we talk at least on a somewhat regular basis, right? And so when we talk about that, when we think about what that looks like to be able to build those relationships, how we show up in those relationships really matters, right? And how we pour into those relationships, you gotta put in before you can take out, and you gotta put in quite a bit, man. And that is one of the things that I am very passionate about is the whole idea of being able to invest into those relationships that really make a huge difference, right? Make a huge difference in your life, make a huge difference in your family, make a huge difference in your business. It is so important for us to take the time to invest into relationships, and not because we want to get, but because we are put here on this earth. We are put here by God to give. We are put here as servants first, as people who are meant to serve, people who are meant to be there for others, people who are meant to have relationships with other people. So when I look at businesses, and this is the easiest place to analyze this, many times one of the first things that I hear from a business owner is what troubles that they're having, what challenges that they're having, what things are kind of blocking them from being able to achieve. Maybe it's them being able to recruit. Maybe it's them being able to get new customers, whatever that is. And so the first thing, what I hear normally when I hear, the challenges that they're having, what I normally hear them saying without saying, what's unsaid, is that there is generally a lack of relationship capital. Because if that business owner has the ability and is exercising their talents when it comes to relationships, when it comes to building these relationships out, if they're not investing in that, if they're not taking the time to pour into relationships and friendships, then they will lack these things. There's a couple people on here that have done a great job of that. Marvin Joles is a great example of someone who has spent years and years in the paving industry, in the pavement maintenance space, building relationships with people. And so Marvin has built a lot of trust. He's built a ton of relationship capital, not just with other people in the industry, but with suppliers, with people that run trade shows in our industry, with by having a podcast that he can bring on those people who have influence and really edify them and do a great job of interviewing them and putting them up on a pedestal. This is how, guys, you build relationship capital. So I ask you to think about this today. What is it that you do every single day in your life to improve your relationship capital? What is it that you do? I want you to ponder that for a second while I say good morning to some folks here. What's happening, Bob and Cynthia? Dan Levitt, my brother, what's happening, man? Good morning to you. Alton, what's happening? Rick, Gary, Trudy, David Martin, what's happening? Daniel Good, Marvin, and Curtis, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys all popping on here this morning. So think about that. What is it that you're doing every single day to improve your relationship capital? That could be people that you interact with every single day. It could be people that you're trying to build a relationship with, right? Maybe there's a supplier. Maybe there's somebody that's in your industry that you really want to get to know. Maybe there's some person with influence that would really, really help your business or help your life. Maybe there's a mentor out there that you want to gain a relationship with, but you just haven't gotten there yet. There is a tactical way to do this. I'm going to talk to you about the tactical way to do this and the way not to do this. So for me, being a person that is fairly public, I get a lot of inquiries on social media that are done improperly, right? So when you think about how should you approach someone that you want to build relationship capital with, what does that actually look like? How would you do it? Well, I'll tell you this. If the first thing that you're trying to do is sell me on something, that's probably a bad way to approach building a relationship with me, right? If the first thing you're trying to do is take from our relationship, from this person that in many times I don't even know, right? I have never met them and they're asking me for something. And the most common one is, can I pick your brain? Man, could I get 15 minutes of your time? And I want you guys to think about that. What does that actually mean? So first of all, if someone is willing to give you 15 minutes of their time that doesn't know you, you should immediately question that person's value. Think about that. If someone is willing to give their time away to just some random person that they've never met, is that person really valuable in your life? Or are they going to bring something to your life? If you really want to build a relationship with someone, if you really want to start a friendship, start a relationship, start a meaningful relationship, the first thing that you have to do is give. And you have to recognize that person. You have to find a way to make that person recognize you and feel valued by what it is that you say. Now, let me give you an example of the way that I do this. So I will follow someone for a long period of time before I ever communicate with them. I will follow them for a long period of time, and I'll figure out what it is that they do and how they do it. And I will actually look for those things that have created value in my life, have, some of their content that has taught me something. And so I will then send a video or an audio message, just depending on the day, depending on how I'm feeling, whatever it is. I will send them a video message or an audio message to their DMs, and I will explain to them how following them for X period of time has had a positive impact on my life. And I will cite specific examples of the things that they have put out there on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever it may be, of how those things have impacted me. maybe how I've implemented them into my business, maybe some of the people who are important to me in my life and how I have taught them what it is that this person is putting out there. Now, that is much different than trying to immediately take from someone by asking for their time, by asking to pick their brain, by asking for whatever it is, right? And so I would say that 8 or 9 times out of 10, that gets a response almost immediately, right? Depends on how influential that person is, how many followers they have. Sometimes those messages get lost in their DMs. But if you do it right, and if you actually want to invest into these relationships, like you truly want to build a relationship, you don't want to just take from somebody. This is the way that you do it. You genuinely invest. I can tell you this, anybody that watches this show that's in the comments every morning, that is just a regular follower, those people would get my time because they're watching, they're commenting, they're implementing, they're giving feedback on the things that I put out there. It's meaningful. That's why we do it, right? We show up and put out content. We show up and we give to people because we want to make a difference. And so ask yourself that question, whether it's in person or online, how can you make a difference in somebody's life? How can you gain relationship capital by being a giver? How can you do a better job of gaining relationship capital with those people closest to you? Well, the first thing is do what you say you're going to do. When you say you're going to do something, show up and do it. When you say you're going to call somebody back, call them back. When you say you're going to get back to somebody, get back to them. Do a good job. Be a good friend. Be a good person. Be a good leader. Just be there for people. Do what you say you're going to do. The second one is, how can you add value to their life? And it's not some gimmick, not some backhanded, hey, can I do this for you? It's just genuinely, how can you actually build a relationship with people? And when you really think about that, whether it's in real life or online, it's pretty easy. But there's this whole world, this whole undercurrent of people out there pitching their stuff on social media through DMs that makes other people think that it's okay to do. And that, friends, will destroy any chance of you having relationship capital. I can't tell you how many people per day I unfriend or delete out of my DMs because of the way that they approached trying to connect with me. Literally, it takes me probably 5 or 10 minutes a day to go through and unfriend the people who have friend requested me on Facebook. Look at someone's page and who they are and why they're DMing me on Instagram. Think about that. How are you coming across? Are you coming across as a person that actually wants to build a relationship, or are you coming across as a person that wants to take something? And when you come across as someone that wants to take, man, you're just easily replaceable. There's lots of people out there that want to take. But to build true, genuine relationship capital, you have to give. And when you give over and over and over and over again, you will be blown away by the gifts that God places in your life, by the things that show up that you once dreamed you would have: relationships, opportunities, friendships, businesses, business relationships, business opportunities. But it all starts with, are you willing to do the work to build relationship capital? And relationship capital, friends, is more important to me than real capital, than money. Because relationship capital will be there if the day comes that you don't have any real capital, any money. Relationship capital will make that better. Relationship capital will help you get real capital back. It'll help you get it back faster. And relationship capital can make you feel full when your bank account is empty. That's what true relationships do. And when you pour into them, and when you put other people first, and you value them, and you listen more than you talk, you genuinely care for other people, and you put in the work to build these relationships, man, they will last the test of time, and they will bring more to your life than you could ever imagine. So I encourage you today to think about, what does that look like for you right at this moment? You know, are you pouring in every day? Literally, there should be time set aside in your calendar of how you are helping people, how you are pouring into others, how you are trying to build relationship capital on a daily basis. And if you do that over a period of years, wait until you see what happens to your life. When I logged on this morning to do this show, the number 457 popped up, and it just caught my eye for a minute. 457 times I have tried to show up here to build value. To build value in the relationships of the people that show up here in the morning, that need a better way to start their day, that need just that little shot in the arm before they get to work, right? Before they really get started for their day. And over a period of years of me doing this, 457 times, the relationships and opportunities that have been built, the relationship capital that has been built from me doing something that I love to do, showing up here in the morning and sharing my thoughts, has been one of the greatest gifts I've ever had in my life. And so I encourage you guys to think about that. You know, what does that actually look like for you? Are you building relationship capital on a daily and weekly basis? What are the new people that you've connected with in the last week, in the last month? How many new relationships did you build in 2021? And how many are you going to build in 2022? Spend the time to invest in relationships, guys. When people trust you, life is better. When people love you, life is amazing. And when you build a group of people that share those emotions, right? Care, love, support. It is one of the greatest things that you'll ever have in your life. And it increases the speed of trust in business. It increases the speed of trust in your personal life, in your marriage, with your children. So take the time to build relationship capital in every single aspect of your life. In your marriage, with your kids, in your business, with your friendships. Invest into people. The return is unbelievable. Expect nothing, and you will gain everything. Thank you guys for being here this morning. I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. I love you guys. Thanks for being here.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.